by the rivers of Babylon. Yeah, we sat down and we cried when we remembered Jerusalem. We were sick, Lord, near to dying. Oh,
Wait, okay, not try it.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, there you go.
Welcome everyone once again to the Shabbat Night Talk. My name is Uziah Lewy. I'm one of the teachers at Congregation D.C.B, CHOKMAH, BINAH. Thanking the Most High God for this day. Give me a one if you can hear me now. Please give me a one in the room if you can hear me now. Give me a one if you can hear me now. Okay? Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for all things and everything, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Thanking the Creator for my life, the life of Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth, the life of all of you, the life of all of us. And I'm grateful to this great King for all the things that he's done for me, the good and the bad. And thanking the Creator for everyone. Thanking the Creator for everyone who's here with us, those of you who are joining us, those of you that are online with us. May the Most High God bless you and keep you and continue to guide your steps. That the Most High God would be with Yisrael wherever we might be, especially now with all the things that are happening in the world, and especially in this country, those of us who live in this country. We see the madness, and we see all we see the lack of example of leadership of the people who govern and run this place. But those are not our examples. Our examples are from the Torah. Mosai tell us, look unto the rock for where you were hewn, right? Where you were cut out of. Look from where you was dug out of. Look unto Abraham and look unto Sarah. And those should be our examples. So we when we do that, this is what we think about. And this is who we follow. We follow the men of the Torah. When we look at these people that are governing and that are running things, we see poor example of leadership. They're supposed to be the examples of leadership and influence people in a righteous manner. But unfortunately, we live in a place where people are just concerned with self-gratification and what's going to make them look good and what's going to make them look better, and how it's going to drive their party. But no one stands for moral justice. No one stands for righteousness. No one stands for any of those things. So we have to look to ourselves, and we have to look to our heroes in the Tanakh, who the Most High God left as an example for us to follow. Because morality is not part of this people's vernacular and how they govern their lives and how they do certain things. Hoping that everyone is doing well. I'm thankful to the great King for food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm thankful to the great King for the congregation D.C.B, CHOKMAH, BINAH. Thanking the Most High God for that congregation and for helping us to grow. Praying to the Most High, and we hope that everyone prays with us, that the Most High God help us to find a place that we could call our own. And right now we are in the hunt and trying to do certain things to get ourselves situated to make that move. So hopefully The Most High God will bless the works of our hands, and we could get those things done. I'm thankful to the Creator for my life, the life of my family, the life of all of those who I love, and I pray that the Creator continue to be with us wherever we are. But last week we had the topic of whether or not, I think the question that I posed was, is there any time where we will deem an abortion to be okay within Torah? Or would it be acceptable within Torah, right? For an abortion at any time. So basically, what is an abortion? The dictionary definition of an abortion is, now we're not going to do this as a debate. We're going to do this as a topic that we could bring understanding to, right? An abortion is the deliberate termination of a human pregnancy, most often performed during the first 28 weeks of pregnancy. And when we look at Torah, first I want to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20. Verse 12, it says, first verse 11, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Jehovah thy God giveth thee. Verse 12, thou shalt not murder, right? Lo tirzak, don't murder. So, the Most High God law is plain and simple. Don't take away a life. Don't take away a life unnecessarily. Don't take someone's life away unnecessarily, because then if you spill man's blood, by man shall your blood be spilled. These are all different commandments that we have in the Torah, and these are all different things that we have going on. Now, most of the argument with certain topics like abortion and things like that, it says once conception happened, that is a life. The fetus is a life, right? You can see a little heartbeat, all these things. But are there certain reasons as to why somebody will feel it necessary that an abortion should happen? So some of the reasons that were brought up is if a woman gets raped and she conceives, that's a reason to why someone might not want to raise up a child of a rapist, right? If she's married, husband might not want to see that his wife getting, showing a belly and carrying a baby for someone that actually raped her. The woman might not want to go through that. Other things were if a woman's life is in danger, where she could definitely die, would you allow that to happen, or would you abort and give the mother a chance to live? These are all the different scenarios that we came up with, and we want to discuss this like adults. We want to discuss it with not shouting and because I'm sure there are going to be strong feelings on both sides, And when I open up the phone lines, because I'm really ambivalent about this when it gets to a certain part. Now, what I'm not in agreement with is this. This is where, if you're having sex, is not sport. So when you're having sex, sex should be between people that are responsible adults, right? And that are together. A man and his woman, a woman and her man, right? If you are in your parents' house, living as a young person who doesn't have any types of, who really doesn't have any type of responsibility, and you're spreading your legs and you're going into somebody's daughter, that's not your time to do that. When you get someone's daughter pregnant, or daughter, you get pregnant, if you run down to the, what do they call that? The Planned Parenthood and get an abortion, that's a whole different level. I do look at that, and this is where the ambivalence come from. The ambivalence come from is that I look at these things, certain things differently. So now somebody might be able to change my mind and might be able to make me see it in a certain way. Because I think that if you're using sex for sport, then you get pregnant, and every time you get pregnant, you're going down to take that baby out of you, that's something different than the scenarios that I brought up earlier. Right? So, on that note, and saying what I just said, I hope that you understand what I'm saying. So, because, I do have mixed feelings. About certain things. He said, I need a makeup artist now. Are you serious, Moray Tavel? You can see all the little holes in my face. But, yeah, we need, that kind of scenario is different to me than the scenario of if a woman gets raped. I mean, there's levels to this thing, right? Now, some people might look at it differently. They might say abortion is murder, no matter what. And that's fine. We all are entitled to our opinions. But what I want us to do is, once we're here and we're doing this, I want us to concentrate on what is it, whichever side we're going to argue. I want us to concentrate on that. Maybe move those lights back a little. Maybe that's what's causing that. Move it back. Yeah, so I want us to concentrate.
Okay, that's a bit high.
I want us to concentrate on that point, right? And I want us to concentrate on the points. Concentrate on the points that we're arguing, all right? And make your points, because I'm going to open up the line. Right. That's another thing, right? It's so many scenarios that we see. But we're going to discuss them. Now, I want to prefix this conversation by saying I do not agree with abortions on the surface, but I am ambivalent to certain scenarios. I do have mixed feelings with certain other scenarios, right? But and I guess that's where the ambivalence comes from, You have mixed feelings because there's certain scenarios that you say to yourself, I don't know about that. So the number is 347 622-9090. 347-622-9090. And the phone lines are open for who wants to chime in first, because it's difficult decision on some parts. And it's not a light thing either. It's not something light. So we need to also respect that part of it, to understand that it is not a light issue. So 347-622-9090. Let us discuss this topic. I guess nobody wants to be the first caller. Everybody wants to wait to make their point, because everybody probably feels like their point is the best. But no, we're gonna go to it. I know there was Gever Ora last week. All right, here we go. Our first caller. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. To whom am I speaking to?
Shabbat Shalom. Sorry for laughing. To whom are you speaking to? This is Gever Ora.
Shalom, Gever Ora. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. I know now. Gever Ora reached out to me from last week, right? And she said she wanted to touch on this topic, and she's the first caller. So the floor is yours, Gever.
Okay. Let me just what do you call it?
Mute. Yeah, mute your computer. Turn it down.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I went to mute it, and it went to a different service. Okay.
All right.
All right. Can you hear me well? Because I have you.
I hear you loud and clear, Ima.
Okay, you can hear me well. Okay.
Yep.
To begin with, okay. My abortion, in and of itself, is not something that should be done. I'm not even going to address what did you call it? Having sex for sport.
Right.
Okay? And I don't want to address partners, because in ancient times we got married. We didn't have partners.
Right.
We had ceremonies, husbands and wives, and that was that.
Right.
But I want to address just abortion.
Right.
You know, abortion is not synonymous with murder.
Okay.
Murder means killing someone without a cause.
Okay.
Okay, so you can't. You can, but I would not. But I don't want to say that because it's not. It may. For me, it may or may not be murder.
Okay.
You don't do things like that. I believe that I'm in agreement with whoever said that a woman. I don't think that a woman that was raped should have to carry a child of her rapist. Rape is not just. Rape is a what do you call it? Crime. It's not a sexual crime.
Right.
Okay. That's just the meaning.
It's violence. It's violence.
A violent crime.
Right.
And it also has a very far-reaching emotional effects.
Right.
So that when it comes to rape, let me put it this way: when it comes to rape, I believe that a woman should be able to have an abortion.
Okay.
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 But the other thing is this: you know, when we look at the Torah, we look at it as, you know, okay, the Torah says blah, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
But there are so many things that would happen, you know, like the Torah says, if you have a controversy, you bring it to the judges.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
I believe that in the case of let's just say request for an abortion, I think that's something that the judges would handle.
Right.
You know, we think nothing happened in those days, you know, like in ancient times that would not have happened. You don't really know that. When I studied human sexuality, I found out that birth control was used thousands of years ago.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, I'm not saying who used it. I don't even remember. It wasn't important enough for me to remember who did it. But it's something that was done. I don't think that something like that is serious and far-reaching as it is cut and dry.
Okay.
You can't, first of all, you should not be getting pregnant. You should not be siring a child if you're not married. That's my opinion. Okay?
Okay.
Any woman, I think that, or child, because it's not always a woman that gets raped.
Right.
Any female that gets raped and becomes pregnant as a result of that rape, I think should have the opportunity, personally, I think should have the opportunity to have an abortion. I believe that if we did it the way we do it in ancient times, it would go before the judges, and the judges would make the decision.
And you know what's the thing about that also, I did some research, and today when a woman gets raped, I believe they have about 10 states that offer it, but when the woman gets raped, part of the rape kit, right? When they swab, they have to comb the area. They gotta get DNA to see what is it that happened. One of the some of the medication that they give the woman is they give them anti-inflammatory because it's a violent act. So most of the time when a woman is getting raped, she's not accepting it. She's not, like certain secretions and stuff is not happening because it's somebody is taking something from that she doesn't want to give up. So there's there's bleeding, there's a bunch of stuff as I was researching. Right. And then what they do is they give them the day after pill. It's an option like in, I believe, like 10 to 20 states that they give them that. You know what I'm saying? So automatically the day after pill, what it does is whatever, if the woman conceived through the rape, then it automatically aborts the fetus or whatever it is, whatever it is that's happening there. So when we see that, even today, there's like a judgment call that, with the rape kit comes certain things that you receive in order to make whatever it is that might be coming out, null and void or to abort. So just to add to that.
Right. Well, the other thing, what was I going to say?
The judges, you were speaking about the judges.
Right. We don't really think in terms of, we have a tendency to think that we are the judge. I lost your, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Ima.
Okay.
I hear you loud and clear. I'm listening.
I muted the thing, and I was saying I can't hear you because that happened to me that Shabbat. I couldn't hear the Torah service.
Oh, okay.
We tend to think we tend to be, those of us that study Torah tend to be very dogmatic about it.
Right.
There's thus and thus and thus and thus, and usually we're talking about someone else.
Right.
Okay. We find there are so many laws that we break, but then we have those that we think are special laws that we should be very vigilant about. And I do believe we should be vigilant about that because a life is a life.
Okay.
But, we have laws that take lives. There's a whole bunch of laws that take life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not murder. Okay? It's not murder. Murder is taking life without a cause. Without a righteous cause. That's what murder is.
Right.
Someone used to talk about that all the time because people say, "Oh, it says thou shalt not kill." Well, if thou shalt not kill, thou canst not eat.
You cannot eat. That's right.
Okay, but having a baby is a serious business. It's serious not just for the baby, for the mother. It's serious for the baby.
Right.
You know, so those things have to be taken into consideration. And my opinion is that if it was ancient times and there was a pregnancy that someone, let's put it that way, someone, the father, the husband, the person wanted to have ended, they would go to the judges with that. That wouldn't be something that the folks would be sitting around talking about, well, you shouldn't have abortion because so-and-so, so-and-so. You know, I know of a sister, I remember, you know, I'm from Hashaba, right?
Right.
And I remember there was a sister who, we talked about not taking birth control. Okay?
Right.
But there was a sister that actually was given permission to take birth control because her life is in jeopardy. See? You know, our Torah teaches us about, we have laws about what we used to call it, conservation. You don't take the baby with the mother.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, there is a balance. Our Torah is not about, our Torah is about three things.
Right.
How you serve and worship the Most High. How you deal with your parents. Deal with your brothers and sisters. That's
right.
all it is. Everything else leads to that. And when we think about abortion, you know, anybody in their right mind should realize that abortion is not something, you know, like they talk about the woman should have a choice.
Right.
You should have a choice to not have a child, not to get pregnant in the first place.
Right.
You don't have to get pregnant in the first place.
Right.
Okay? And especially in these modern times. But rape is something else. That falls into another category. So when you have these situations where a person becomes pregnant, and pregnant and the mother's life is in danger.
Right.
Pregnant and it's a result of rape.
Right.
When it comes to infidelity.
Right.
That's not going to be an issue because there's nowhere in the Torah that says, and if the woman conceives a child as a result of her illicit relationship,
right,
that it doesn't even say that. The woman plays the harlot, she's killed.
That's it. And the fetus dies. Yeah.
None of that comes into play.
Right.
And when they talk about that, you're talking about the law of jealousy.
Right.
May not be guilty.
Right.
And the probability it would probably be that the stuff that she would take, you know, that would make her, quote unquote, if she was guilty,
would probably abort the baby.
Fall apart.
Yeah, the waters of bitterness.
Because I don't remember the word.
Yeah, the waters of bitterness.
Yes, if she had taken the water of bitterness, she probably would have abort anyway.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I believe that she probably would abort. If something is that strong to, okay, here's the thing. If you take some whatever dirt and whatever it is, whatever the substance is, and if you're not guilty, it doesn't have an effect on you. But if you're guilty, it does. It means that, you know, when you're guilty, your body responds. Right. Your body responds chemically to your guilt.
Right.
And you produce hormones and things, which probably would mix with what you were eating or drinking, whatever it is. And there you go. But it doesn't seem to me that abortion would be an issue there because I don't think the child the mother would be dead. So I don't think people are going to say, well, I don't think that would be an issue in the community. This woman is pregnant by this man. No, both the man and the woman are going to be killed.
Right.
So nobody's going to be concerned about his seed. The husband is not going to have to put up with his seed. You follow what I'm saying?
Right, I'm following
seeing
you.
as though you can see me, you know.
No, I hear you clearly, and everybody in the room can hear you.
I spoke when I was just speaking. I was speaking as if you could actually see me, like we were on Skype or something.
Right.
I think that I've covered everything that I wanted to say. I wrote down some points last week when I heard. The other thing too would be if there was disease involved. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
You got involved with. Suppose you got involved with a man. Because these are modern times, and some people are turned to be a little free. But even if you got involved with, say you had a relationship, let's use that term, they're serious and responsible and blah, 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 and the man has some kind of venereal disease, or the woman has some kind of venereal disease, you know, that might be a time to abort a child, so that the child does not end up being born with this disease. That has happened, you know. You know from different things that you read and stuff that there are a lot of children that are really in bad shape because of drug use, disease, and those are things that I think they go again. In our community, there would be judges. People didn't just willy-nilly go around and say, "Okay, I'm going to do this," and I'm going to do not that level of stuff. When you're talking about life. That's not something you're not an individual on that level. You're part of a community. So the judge did with all those things that are serious, those things will go before the judge, and the judge will make a decision. And you would abide by the decision. The other thing I wanted to mention, somebody said something last week that annoyed me no end. A bastard is, a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
That terminology, we need to get that translation of the word that's in the Tanakh. The word that's in the Tanakh means mixed seed. It does not mean whatever they call it, an illegally born child. That's really what they're saying. The child and the mother and the father are not married. Illegitimate. I couldn't think of the one. That's not. We're not talking about that. That's a mixed seed. We don't have bastards. There's no such thing as a child don't have a father.
Mm-hmm.
We don't by osmosis.
Right.
Okay? Anyway, that's what I have to say about, I think I covered everything that I had to say about it. I look at things in terms of, you have to look at modern times, but when I make a decision as to whether I believe something is right or wrong, I try to do it from the perspective of what the tenor of the law.
Right.
Okay, it's like the law says that you get so many stripes for doing something, but you're not supposed to go over that because you're not supposed to humble your brother.
Right.
We're supposed to be about loving each other. We don't have any contact with the Most High. The Most High don't come to us every Shabbat and say, "But listen, I like what you did and so.
Right.
I'm supposed to be a certain way, represent myself a certain way, live a certain way, so that I can set an example to everywhere I go. Somebody should be able to say, "Who are you? What she's about? What is she about?" And I'm supposed to do it in such a manner that people are going to like me and like what I represent.
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to judge. We think we're supposed to be the judge. Most times told us to judge.
Right.
You take judges and let them judge between, issue and issue. So I don't want to hold up the line. Somebody else might have something to say. Because I know you know me. I can talk about it.
Okay, Guevara, I appreciate your call and thank you for tuning in.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that you did this. So I don't.
Yes.
Person that goes to sleep is the sun most of the time. Usually, not too long after sundown, I'm in bed.
You're in bed. Oh, that's good. That's good. I wish if I did that, I'll be waking up like 1 o'clock in the morning and can't go back to sleep. I gotta wait a little bit longer.
Shabbat is different for me.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. I'm going to continue this. I'm going to turn my thing back on now. It's the volume on so I can hear anything, something that somebody else has to contribute.
Okay. All right, then.
All righty. So I'm going to hang up.
All right. Shalom, Gaveret.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right. So, like I told you, I'm a bit ambivalent about this topic when it comes to certain points, right? Now, Gaveret Ora made some very good points. I see some people writing stuff down. I'm not sure if they're gonna call, but if I scroll up, the number, the line is open. So, all right, Daphne J. There is also the argument of whether or not to go through a pregnancy knowing that the baby will be in danger or have some type of mental delay. All right, Ima Havaret. Shalom, Ima, how are you?
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Praise the Most High Yah for life. And thank you all for bringing the topic. And I pray to the Most High that I use His wisdom and that I be a blessing and not a curse with what I'd like to share. A lot of what was said last week on both sides, I agree with. Life is most precious, and it's supposed to be most precious, especially amongst Israel. So we don't do anything, or we shouldn't do anything, in my opinion, and from what I gleaned from the Torah, just to be doing things for our own self-gratification, and that includes taking the life of an unborn child, or even making children, for that matter. And I know that there were a couple of issues that were brought up, topics like mamzer. Mamzer in Hebrew, in English, people sometimes, especially European diaspora, would consider it to be a bastard. In the Hebrew, it more so speaks to perversion than somebody being born illegitimate. Because illegitimate means that it's a concept whether how a person was married or was not married. Because in Israel, once two people make a commitment to each other, that can be considered a marriage because that's the beginning of the contract. But whether they had the ceremony and, those other things, I'm not trying to debate that. But it goes more to perversion, people being married, not being married, but people having sexual relations, brothers and sisters, uncles and nieces, cousins and cousins, perversion, perverse relationships, prostitution, and stuff like that. And we kind of see those things when we go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, and the Most High gets very, very clear in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 3, and I'll just read it in the English. It says, "A bastard shall not enter into the assembly of Yahweh even to the 10th generation. Shall not be entered into the assembly of Yahweh." So, it's very important that when we start to be with people, that we're doing things in a righteous manner, and that we're doing things up front and above board. It also states as mamzer that it has to do with a person of the faith, and walking in the Torah, marrying someone that is not walking in the Torah, or if not marrying, but having children with someone who is not in the Torah. So these are the things that is being given as a definition of a bastard. Not that the two people are not necessarily married, because marriage, like I said before, it can have certain connotations, because we've had common law marriage for many years, because we were not even able to marry in this country legally, according to what the Europeans call marriage. So perversion has everything to do with it, sorry about that if you don't glean that. Okay, so we're going to move on to abortion. Abortion has been used as a license for people to just be promiscuous, have what is called a perversion. Being promiscuous is a perversion, that you just want to do something out of lust. Let's get that on out there. Just want to have sex and do what you want to do, and then you make babies, and then you just go down here and you just get rid of them. Okay, so that's considered mentally a perversion. So what we're supposed to be doing is building relationships, building lifelong righteous relationships, so that we don't have that kind of thing. But we do end up having those kinds of things. So abortion is not a tool that's supposed to be used for self-gratification. Okay? But if someone is sick, close to death, or even someone is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, let's take, for instance, Judah and his daughter-in-law, Tamar. And I believe that's Genesis 38, verse 24, where she was promised the law of succession, so that her husband's name would be remembered, and that he would have inheritance in the earth. And it wasn't done. So they went through several sons, and each one of them did something that could be considered a perversion, because even one of them threw his seed out on the ground. Okay? And so she did what she thought was best, and she dressed up in a perversive way, and she dressed up as a harlot, and she, of course, we all know the story, she had sex with her father-in-law, who was Judah. And when he found out about it, he made a decree for her death and for the death of the child. So she had no problem taking the life of that child and taking her life, until he found out that he was the one who was the cause behind everything, because he didn't live up to his end of the bargain.
Very good point.
I can agree with Gaveret Ora as to how we perceive in this society that we live in. We have preconceived notions as to how things are supposed to be. And because of that, I'm sorry, I can't hear you because I got everything turned down. So let me try to turn some up here. So
No. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm listening. You're making very good points. I said very good point. You don't have to turn, because what's going to happen is when you turn up the computer, it's going to be on a delay, and you're going to be like waiting to hear yourself. So,
okay, so no problem there. So we see that he was willing to take her and the child out, and so there is room for decisions to be made in Israel that may be on a more of a what we call a civil, more civil than more of a holy law, more in a civil manner or civil judgment than more of a holy law. But I think that it, as the sister said, it should go before judges, and if we don't have judges, then it should be a decision made between the husband and the wife. If there's something going on like a rape or some kind of perversion. And I believe that rape is a perversion, as well as also it's something that's done by force. It's a crime. It's a hate crime, and all of that. It's someone that's trying to use their force, but it's also a perversion because you have to have a kind of mental issue to be wanting to go out and try to do something like that to someone. So people do get off on that, and so that makes it a perversion. So, like I said, we have Genesis 38, verse 24 for the decree that went down to kill Tamar and the baby. Then we also, I don't have the verse, and please forgive me for this, but I didn't get a chance to pull it out. But we remember when we go to war, when Israel went to war, and there were certain situations where the Most High would demand that any woman that's been touched by another man be killed, along with sometimes the young sons and different things like that. We don't know whether those women had children in their bellies, babies in their bellies or not. Yes, it was the Most High doing it, but the only reason why I bring the point up is there are specific circumstances in Israel where sometimes things like this can be allowed, and we need to maybe just give that some consideration. And I won't say any more on it, but I say we should consider the situation at hand before we make a judgment, and that would be my final decision on that. The Most High, from what I glean from the Torah, the Most High does not see a child's life in the same way that we do. Children's lives are sacred to a point, but when something is in the midst of that, causing us to make some serious decisions, then that life can be lost like any other life. So that's all I have to say on the subject, and thank you all for hearing me out. Praise the Most High Yah.
Torah Iman, thank you for your insight. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
There you have it. We got two people that now. This is the point of having discussions, right? When we have these discussions, we bring up our points, we make them clear, we make clear what we believe, we try to substantiate it with Torah. Now, a very good point that Ema brought up was when Judah found out about Tamar, that she was pregnant, but he didn't know that she was the one who played the harlot that he went to visit. And he said, put her to death. He didn't consider the baby that she had inside of her. He just said, kill her. That means the fetus would have died also. The baby would have died also inside of her, because she was already well along to be showing for them to know that she was pregnant. So very good point. But like I said, I'm ambivalent. I'm waiting for somebody on the other side to call in and make your points. Is we just going to make... Now I'm going to read some of the things. All right, here we go. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. I'm trying to get with Uzal.
This is Uzal. You're on live on the stream.
Yeah, you hear me on that?
I hear you clear. You gotta mute your computer. Your computer's on a delay. Your computer's on a delay, so you just gotta mute it and make your point.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know how to mute it.
Turn down the volume.
Okay.
There you go.
King, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
King, this Chief Shama, Uz.
What's up, Chief? What's going on?
Okay, now, this is my point now. First, I'm going to explain the definition of mamzer.
Wow.
The mamzer means a bastard. When you look up the definition of mamzer, it means a bastard. A bastard means an illegitimate child. Illegitimate means born to parents not married to each other. That's one. We didn't have children out of wedlock. A man's desire, once he's seen a woman that he desired her to be his wife, not for nothing else. That's to tell you our mind state of today. Our mind state of today is twisted because we desire women for everything else except what we are supposed to desire this woman for is to marry. Once my desire for this woman is not to marry her, I didn't bother this woman. So now there is a way we go about this marriage and what the Most High acknowledge. I can't snatch this woman out of her house. Nowhere else. I gotta go to the Father. I go to the Father. The Father sanctioned it. The marriage is sanctioned by the Father. Is acknowledged by God. Once the Father don't acknowledge it, then guess what? The man can't continue with this woman and have children because guess what? Once he has children and the Father don't sanction the marriage, guess what? That child becomes a bastard. And you are not married because the Father didn't give you this woman, give you his daughter. Okay? Now I want to speak on the part with Judah and Tamar. How the dress wear of Tamar, why was she considered a harlot? What caused her to be a harlot? What did she put on? When you read the Tanakh, it says that she wore a veil and she covered her face, which means all the harlots there covered their face. Judah didn't even know that was his daughter-in-law. So she covered her face and she went to him only for one accord, one reason, to raise up a child for her dead husband. So that's the definition of bastard. Now, rape, let me go back. Now, Tamar was going to get burnt. The only reason why that child was going to die with Tamar was because she didn't deliver justice yet. That doesn't say that abortion is legal. Nowhere in the book states that we had abortion. Nowhere in the book. And this is what we need to do because guess what? We don't have no Moses, no Joshua here to inquire of God, inquire of the Most High about these laws. So guess what? What we have to do now is stick firmly to what the book says, word for word. If it doesn't state it, don't mention it. If it says it, then that's what we go by. And I think that's all I have to say there.
Okay, points well taken, my brother. Like I said, I'm ambivalent with this. With a certain point of it, I don't agree with abortion. But I think that. All right. So what's your opinion on a woman being raped? Do you think that it's okay? Like today, right? Like today, when a woman gets raped, somebody's wife get raped, they take her to the hospital, they swab, they try to get DNA off her, but then they give her the day after pill, right? The day after pill basically terminates the hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, it basically terminates the pregnancy, and the quicker you take it, the better that it it's more effective the quicker you take it. What do you think about a scenario like that on a rape? What's your opinion on that?
Okay, well, rape now. Okay, my opinion is if a woman is raped, the death penalty is for the man. That man's supposed to die. That's what Torah says.
Right.
The man dies. It doesn't state anything about a woman can kill that baby or do anything to the baby that's born inside of her.
Right.
It doesn't say nothing
But
like
I think that's what the first caller, Guevara Ora, was speaking about. She said we understand that certain things are not shown in the Torah, but if that man comes up and said, "Look, my wife pregnant, man, or she might be pregnant. I want no parts of this baby," then we do have parts in the Torah where it speaks when a matter is too hard for us to see in the Torah, that the judges will make a decision. I think that's the point that she was trying to make initially. So what will you say about something like that? Like, I'm just throwing that at you because those were the points that she made earlier. You know what I'm saying? And then the other point was like, if a woman is at risk, they got these things called ectopic pregnancies. Basically, that the egg doesn't fall all the way down to the uterus, but it stays in the woman's fallopian tubes. Right? The pregnancy is happening in the tubes, and the egg got fertilized, or there's an embryo there, but if that egg continues to grow in that fallopian tube, it could kill the woman. What would you say about a situation like that?
Well, that's different. Like,
okay,
the child is inside the fallopian tube, and the woman is at risk. That child is not going to live.
Right.
I don't think, would the child live in the fallopian tube, or it would?
Nah. Eventually, the child will get too big and hurt. It will die, and it could hurt the mother. She could die. So.
Well, yeah, that's a different case then.
Okay.
And that point is a very good point. Then you will have to do something. The doctor will have to do something to remove that baby, because it's either her or I'm saying I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that.
Okay.
That's a different point.
And I think at the end of the day, I think these are the great, because I don't think anyone in the room agrees with abortion straight out. I think that there's certain little things, like, well, not little, because rape is not little. You know, things like rape and like something if a woman's life is in danger, where people might look at it. But like I said at the beginning, I don't agree with an abortion if your 15-year-old daughter got pregnant and nobody raped her. She was having sex with some guy and she got knocked up. Hey, you gotta deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But with certain things, like if my daughter that's why I said I'm ambivalent right now, because my daughter gets raped, or my Isha gets raped. To be honest, that's something that I'm going to have to think about. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm going to think too much about it. But maybe somebody could bring something up to me to tell me, nah, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. That's why I wanted to bring up this topic, in order to hear points like yours, to hear Gavera Ora and Ima Havared, because I know that we're strong down the line on both points, but I don't think anybody is saying like abortion is okay. I think we're talking about issues that are difficult to decipher, where people could go one way or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about.
Right. Like, look at what King Melech Dawi.
Right.
Look at what Melech Dawi.
Right.
He went into Bathsheba.
Right.
Uriah's wife.
Right.
Now that child would have been a bastard, but God interfered and killed that child.
Right.
And killed that child. See, God would have to interfere into that.
Right.
Me personally, I wouldn't just. I don't know. That's like you said. You would have to think about it, man, because that's serious, man.
What about all right, for the point of a bastard, right? Because you said it's an illegitimate marriage, illegitimate child that don't come from a marriage, right?
Yeah, born of parents not married to each other or not sanctioned by law.
Right. So what would you say about the seeds that came out of Tamar, or what would you say about Yeftach? Was Yeftach a bastard in Judges?
No,
he was the son of a harlot.
I wouldn't say Yeftach was a bastard, because he took that woman to himself. He took that. He didn't leave that woman after he had.
No. I'm talking about, that's Judah. I'm talking about Yiftach. That's different. Yiftach is, remember in the Judges, he had the son of Gilead. Yeah, the son of Gilead, and he was the son of a harlot, right? But his father had a wife, and she had children, but his brothers ran him off. But then he was a strong man, right? And then they brought him back to be like king or to be ruler in Israel because they couldn't deal with, I forgot what they was fighting with at that time, the Philistines or whatever. Would you say that Yiftach was a bastard?
I wouldn't say that because he had a child by a harlot. He had a child. The book doesn't say he kept her, but he had a child by a harlot. Like, he must have paid for it or did something, whatever.
Right.
But only two things I would say. Right. Either he kept her to himself, or he didn't keep her to himself, but he paid her for her services, and that's what took place.
Okay.
And he had a child out of that. Now, if I pay a harlot, see, Judah and the men in the book went to harlots sometimes. You had parts sometimes where men went to harlots.
Right.
And they would pay them for their services, and they would go into them.
Right.
Now, that's different.
Okay.
Now, to me, I would say that would be somewhat different.
Okay.
He paid her for her service. He had a child from out of that.
Okay.
And we don't know if he kept that woman to himself. So.
Okay, Chief. I get your points though, and as duly noted, and thank you for calling in, my brother.
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom. So there you have it, Chief Shama. He has the strong views, and I think that this conversation is good. Tavel, call me back again, my brother. Call me back again. It's your time to call. So, I'm Israel's son, Elijah Smith. Remember me, I'm Israel's son. Okay. Shalom, Elijah. How you doing? Yeah, so, Tavel, call back. I know you got a lot to say. So I think we're pretty much all on the same page. You know, and like there you go. Shalom, my brother.
Shabbat shalom, shalom.
I ain't told. Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom, Moray. So what's going on?
Nothing much. I had to mute the television.
Oh, okay.
All praises be to the Most High. First of all, I was listening to what?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I hear you clear. Go ahead.
Okay, I was listening to the various conversations or the statements that people had to make. And I heard several people say they were speaking about the word bastard. And I want to make a clarification because I think people have a misconception of what the Torah is speaking of and what people mean in English as a bastard. There's a difference. A bastard, according to the dictionary, is a person that was born out of wedlock. But that's not what the Torah is speaking of. That's not who the Torah is speaking of. When we go to the Hebrew language, the Hebrew is very clear. It speaks of the word mamzer. Mamzer, the root of that word is Zion Resh, Zar. That means strange or different. When you prefix it, Muzar, you use that also as strange too, or speaking of the person. When you prefix it with those names, if you understand Hebrew and the conjugations, you're getting a person that came out of that particular, that's the subject that came out of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Creator speaking, we have to understand what the Creator's definition of strange is, or different. And then we'll understand who is strange and who is not strange. A person, we can't be naive and say everybody that didn't have a wedding ceremony or didn't go before an altar and had a child is an illegitimate child, because that would mean half of Israel is illegitimate. We have to understand also that the law is straight up. The Creator gave us, He gave the priest a concoction, a certain ingredient that they were supposed to burn. It was incense. And when they didn't burn it, Nadav and Abihu, it was said that they brought up a strange, it's the same word, if you look at it, Zayin Rish. They brought up a strange or a different burning. That means that it was not what the Most High ordered. Going back to that person, what is a strange relationship? Mm-hmm. Not a relationship that the Creator ordained. So, an illegitimate relationship, according to the Israelites, was someone who was near of kin, an aunt and a nephew, a brother and a sister.
I agree with that.
These were people who were not allowed in the Israelite community and in the congregation of the Most High. Well, they were not allowed actually in the congregation of the Most High. And that's what Jehovah is speaking of. Mamzer is a person who came from a different or a strange relationship. The word bastard is a different definition that they use today of an illegitimate child that comes out of wedlock. That's not the definition that the Most High gave for Mamzer that is spoken of in Deuteronomy. So we have to understand that, and that has to be clear. Okay? Just wanted to make that clear, because we can go off and this thing can go on a different route. Right. But the law has to be understood. And we as a Levite, it's hard for me to sit here and listen to some of this stuff and not say anything. So I give all honor and glory to the Most High once again, and I just wanted to help out with that correction.
Torah, More. Hallelujah. All right. I know this is a hot topic. Well, like I said, getting back to the topic in hand, I think we all agree that abortions are wrong. I think that where we disagree on is at what point, and I don't even know if we disagree on that, but at what point is Ima Havaret. I know it's a hot topic. She calling back. Shalom, Ima.
I just want to say thank you, Tavell, because sometimes people don't hear sisters when they're talking. And sometimes they don't hear what we're saying. And they don't get the information, and it becomes combative. So I thank you so much, because what you did was you went in and you just reiterated exactly what I was saying about mamzer and about perversion and the whole nine. So I really appreciate that. Praise the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. Two in agreement.
All right, I know I had some other people calling in, so you could call in now. Hey, there we go. Ima Havaret again. That's three calls and two back to back. What's up, Ima?
Yeah, I have something to say about that.
Oh, she hung up. So, blessed be. I think we're all pretty much in agreement. I think some of us have different definitions of certain things. All right. Louisiana. All right, who's calling from Louisiana? Let's see here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hallelujah. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Trey.
I'm calling you from New Orleans, brother. And
How you doing,
before
brother?
we get into the topic, I'm doing fine. Before we get into the topic, I want to say that I follow you, brothers, online from New Orleans. It's a beautiful program. You help me and my family out here. We don't have a temple or anything that we can attend here that's like what you all have.
Okay.
And I watch you from Friday to Saturday, and it's beautiful. And I hope at some point you all would put up some information, such as the books that you use, some of the songs that you sing with regards to people coming up for Aliyah and those types of things.
Okay.
So
Beautiful.
it's wonderful to talk to you. It's a pleasure.
Anytime.
Now, let me say on the topic a little bit. The brothers and sisters that have called in before have really touched the topic very well. I've been involved in studying traditional family systems for a long time, and it's essential that when we begin to decipher these terms, especially terms like bastard, and everybody's hit on this. This is just going to be a reiteration. Typically, amongst Europeans or in this part of the world, the term bastard is a legal term. And as a legal term, it referred to a child that was born outside of the rules, as it were, they set with regards to being married. Right? Whether you were married, under a particular religion or what have you. If you didn't have that, you were considered a bastard. So theoretically, all of us of African ancestry in this part of the world were bastards, according to the law.
Right.
Now, inside of Torah, that's a little bit deeper. I think the brother who called a moment ago, I think I may be a little bit behind on the series.
Yeah, Moray Tavel.
Described it well.
Moray Tavel, right.
Yeah, he described it well, exactly what it is. It's also important that we do this. And let me say, in our community in particular, there are lots of sisters who have been affected, sisters and brothers, our children, who've been affected by some type of molestation, especially the sisters. And it's a destructive thing throughout the community because those sisters, a lot of the results of what we see as to how sisters respond inside of relationships and inside of the community is that veil upon which they project themselves through after these events occur. Right? So we need to be very mindful that some things are going to be necessary. I think a sister who's been raped, obviously, abortion has to be something that she may want to consider, especially if this is not someone like if she was dating someone or seeing someone and things went further than she decided, that could be rape as well. And an abortion might be something that we might not be too much, might not push that too much. But if the sister, if the force is used and the sister is raped, I think we definitely need to give her that option because there are already going to be side effects. And many of us in our own homes can touch sisters and young kids and brothers who have been affected in that way because of the abuse of sex and what goes on. So I would just hope that whatever we do with consideration of this, we come to a point of understanding the necessity of some level of liberty when someone is forced into that. And I think sometimes it's more difficult for us as men to understand those things because, I watched you via the internet, brother, and you're a reasonable sized man, so am I. And I couldn't imagine someone imposing their will on me like that.
Right.
I can't even imagine it.
Right.
So when it comes to sisters and someone imposing their will, I think we need to take that seriously. That sisters need to have the option of being able to make a choice. And I'm opposed to abortion inside of marriage. I mean, if we're married, or as you said earlier, in a relationship and y'all using sex for sport, I'm sorry. You got out there and you did that. Right. Hey, you have to deal with the consequences of this, because building our families in the community is imperative. And, people have to understand the necessity of those things. So that's one. But outside of that, we need to have some things up where we deal with those who create these situations, the brother, whoever that may be, and helping the sisters to survive. And, that's all I have to say. But I really want to give thanks and reach out to you brothers and say it's a beautiful program, especially you, brother. I always follow you on Friday evenings. It's my first time calling in, as well as on Saturdays. I watch participate in the program. And if you all at some point could just put up some resources as to what you follow and some of the songs that you sing, it would be wonderful. So I could follow along with my sons as well.
Okay, that sounds well. Thank you, Brother Trey. Brother Trey
Okay,
calling
thank
all
you
the
so
way
much,
from Louisiana, right?
Yes, from New Orleans, brother.
New
And I'm
Orleans.
hoping that at some point I could talk to you about getting you brothers to come down and help. Maybe we could start something here.
Okay,
All
that
right?
sounds great.
That would be okay. And if I can communicate with you via this number after the program, I will. All right.
Thank you. I'll lock your
brother.
number. I'll lock your number in right now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Shabbat shalom. Brother.
Shabbat shalom. Incest definitely will fall under the category that Moray Tavel was just talking about. You know, see, now it's coming. It's coming back to back now. They're coming back. I think I know who this is right here. Or they hung up already. Call back. The number from Schenectady, just call back. Just call me back. There you go. Shalom, shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Baby.
Yeah, can you just mute the computer on the back, Gavert?
Yes, Shabbat shalom, Chief Uziel.
Shabbat shalom. Who am I speaking to?
Donnell.
Shalom, how you doing?
I'm all right, thank you.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I'm calling. Now, I don't agree with abortion. I am totally against it.
Okay.
But there are some situations where an abortion would have to be considered. I can't tiptoe around this. If say a 10-year-old child who has her cycle, who is pregnant by her father, her biological father. Now, one, this child is 10 years old. Her body cannot withstand having a baby. She's too young. Two, the child is conceived out of incest. That I would consider getting rid of the child. I mean, who am I to say that she is supposed to have this child? It can kill her, but, you know, the child is supposed to be born, but the child is also conceived out of incest by her biological father. Wouldn't that be, you know, a point where the child should be able to have that abortion?
Yeah, I mean, that's a rape. That's a rape.
Yes, it's a rape. And it's a rape dealing with incest.
Right.
You know, I don't think it would be correct for that child to have that baby.
I get your point. You definitely make a strong point. I get it.
And I've asked many people this question about that. I always brought up that scenario. Now, at one point, it was true where, this is in Islam, where the child was pregnant by her father and was trying to give her an abortion. And the mother killed the father. And they turned around, you know, the community killed the mother because she killed the father. But he had killed the daughter trying to give her an abortion on the kitchen table.
Wow. Wow, that's tough.
This is a great conversation. I am so glad that you brought this up because I always wanted to know how someone else feels that's against abortion, you know, in that area of what they think. Wow. You know, is it right for us to state, oh, well, it's not in the scriptures to have an abortion. No one had an abortion, but there's nothing in there that states, okay, you can have a baby through incest as a child.
Thank you. I mean, you bring some very strong points. Thank you, my sister.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I mean, these are some tough. I didn't know it was going to be this tough tonight, but you know what? What we have to understand is that I'm trying to get this brother number locked in. There's some very tough situations out there. and none of us will really know. I'm trying to get it. The brother, New Orleans. All right, got him locked in. There's many of us that don't know how we will react until it happened to us, or if it happens. I will not wish that on my worst enemy. Some of these situations, I've heard about the ectopic pregnancies, that there is no choice there. Like there is no, that egg is not going to drop. Is basically you're having the baby in the fallopian tubes, and that's, you know. But it's some really deep points that are happening. Some people will say, you know, give the baby up for adoption, even if it's, I've heard that, you know, give the baby up for adoption or whatever. But it's a little bit more feeling to that. It's a little bit more, how can I say it? People are going through real issues, and when they're going through real, here we go. I think this is Chief Shama again. Hold on, give me 1 second. Shabbat Shalom.
This is Governor Raw again.
Governor Shalom.
Shalom. One of the things I wanted to say. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. You got to mute your computer, though, because you're on a delay.
I turned the thing down.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. I'm listening.
There's a couple things that I want to say. I agree. I'm so glad that Tavell called in. Moray Tavell called in to say about the meaning of mamzer.
Right.
Also, mamzer. You know, the mamzer covers categories of strangers in the sense that Israelites don't marry certain people. You understand? That's the mamzer stuff. It's the modern illegitimate parent, you know, illegitimate child, and so on and so forth. And you brought up a very good point about Yitzhak.
Right.
Because Yitzhak was the son of a harlot, so if you would classify children that were born of harlotry as being bastards, I think that would be, it doesn't refer to him as a mamzer.
Right.
I wanted to say, I'd like to caution my brothers and sisters. I say brothers and sisters, but I'm probably old enough to be their parents. I would like to caution people, pay closer attention to what you're reading. Not say that if a man rapes a woman, he's killed. It says a man rapes a woman that is dedicated, married, or promised to another man. Because if you rape a woman that's not, then you may end up having to pay a dowry for her. It's not that. You die because you raped a woman that's absolutely forbidden to you. And also, we just need to be, you know, we need to pay close attention to what we're saying. We're talking, of course, we don't know how many millions of people listen to us, and we need to be very, very careful about what we say. Do research when you're talking about what words mean. Don't go from looking in the dictionary or Wikipedia or whatever it is. Find the etymology of the word. Find out where it comes from. You know, like that's sort of what Moray Tiff Tavell did. He broke the word down.
Right.
So you can tell where it came from, so that you know how it's used. You know, the other thing is that, oh my goodness, so many things pass through my mind.
Take your time. Take your time.
We couldn't, you know, there are certain things that would not be allowed. You know, like, I'm back to the judges.
Right.
You know, we just didn't go along willy-nilly deciding things and undeciding things and so on and so forth. Those things were dealt with. Those were things that were dealt with by the judges. I would say only under extreme circumstances do we have abortions. But like what the young man said from Louisiana, you know, men have a tendency to take a different view than women do. Because women are the ones that get pregnant.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you're frivolous about those things.
Right.
Okay? That doesn't mean either that I'm not so sure that a mamzer is a child of incest. I'm not so sure if that's the case. What makes us think that?
I guess that'll be a discussion for another day, because there'll be a lot of people
it's not really the issue. The issue is
right.
abortion.
Right.
And I'm glad to see that most people that have said anything they've had compassion. You know, we're supposed to be a people of compassion, not frivolity or silliness, but compassion. You don't want a child born to a child that has experienced being raped. You know, unless you've been there, you have no idea what it's about.
So I want to ask you a question. You made a statement when you just called back. You said that a woman, and this is getting off topic because it's not off topic. This is actually on topic. You said that a woman that is not betrothed or married to a man, if she's raped, then that man might just end up with her paying a dowry for her. Why? Why do you say that? Because isn't rape rape?
To me, to Geveret Arah, listen to me. To Geveret Arah, rape is rape.
Okay.
You know when the portion that it talks about when the man, they talk about when a man lay with a woman, he enticed the woman, he lay with her.
But I got it right here. I got Deuteronomy 22, verse 21. Let me see. I'm going to start from verse...
What book are you reading from?
Deuteronomy 22.
Go ahead.
22 verse, I'm going to start from verse 13. I'm going to read the whole, and it's going to give the different instances. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and lay warrant charges against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came nigh to her, I found not in her the tokens of virginity, right? So this is talking about a man who marries a woman, and he brings charges against her saying she wasn't a virgin because she didn't bleed whatever it was that supposed to happen with the woman, and you know. So then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate, right? And the damsel's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. Verse 17. Right. And lo, he have laid wanton charges, saying, found not in thy daughter the tokens of virginity, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city. Right. And the elders of the city shall take the man and chastise him, because he brought an evil report against the daughter.
Right.
And they shall find him 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. So he got to pay 100 shekels again, just like the dowry, like the initial dowry. He got to repay it again to the father, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and all right, and then they bring the damsel out to the door of the father's house. So if she's not a virgin, she's taken out to the gates of the city, and she's stoned. Right? Verse 22, if a man be found lying with the woman, married to her husband, then they shall both of them die, the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away the evil from Israel, because that's adultery. That's an adulterer and an adulteress, right? If they be found, meaning that this is a consensual act. If there be a damsel that is a virgin, betrothed unto a man, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he have humbled his neighbor's wife. so thou shalt put away the evil from the midst of you. So of thee. So that's adultery. Although they're betrothed, it's still considered adultery. 25. But if the man find the damsel that is betrothed in the field, and the man take hold of her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall die, because he raped her, right?
Right.
Because she cried, but she was in the field, right? And he raped her. So the other law is insinuating if she's in the city, somebody's going to hear you. So if you didn't cry out in the city,
but in each instance, this is a woman that's betrothed.
Right. This is a woman that's betrothed. Right. So now we go on to the next part. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises up against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, that is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found. So now they be found. It's not speaking about he forced himself on her or he raped her. It said they be found. Meaning that there was a consensual act there. Just like the first woman who was married to a man, and she's found laying with the man, and they be found. This is not I don't see it as this is a rape, you know. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. She shall be his wife, because he have humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
Okay. And where do you see anywhere? Finish reading?
That's it. That's the end of the chapter.
Exactly. And where do you see anywhere? Where have you read anywhere in the Tanakh that if a man rape a woman that's a virgin, rape a woman because here we go, you assume that it's consensual. Okay? Because they were found out. But where does it say that if he rapes a woman that's not a virgin, he'll be stoned? He'll be killed? Nowhere.
Yeah, but like Chief of Chiefs always said, Torah teaches Torah.
Yes.
Rape is rape. Rape is a act. Right.
There you go. Now the judges would have to say, we consider this rape and so on and so. There is no law. What I said was, what I said was, if you're going to make a statement, the law says blah 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 blah. Right. Let it be that the law said blah 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 blah. Right. You can go by the tenor of the law. You can draw inferences. Right. Inferences and so on and so forth. But there is no law, and believe me, you know, one of the things you went around in old Hashabah. We used to have question and answer periods every afternoon, every Shabbat. Right. It wasn't a question that came up in the Tanakh that we did not discuss.
That you didn't answer. Okay, I get what you're saying.
We discussed these things.
Right.
Okay, so and being a woman, that would stand out to me. That, you know. Right. Anything that has to do with a woman being attacked would stand out to me. And there's no law that I've read that says if a man rape a woman, he'd be put to death. Now, I tell you, the judges would probably deal with it. Here we go again with the judges. This would be a situation where the judges would determine, based on a lot of things, whether or not this man was worthy of death.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Then you come, that's why I said earlier, in a situation, there'd be situations where the judge would come in. Because I've heard brothers say, men would say, well, if somebody raped my daughter, that's it. But you can't make that statement based on Torah. You make that statement based on your feelings. And the judges would see, the thing would be that you take it to the judges and the judges would deal with it. This is my daughter.
Right, because there wasn't any vigil. I don't know if it's a word, vigilantism. In the midst of, there wasn't any vigilantes. Everything had to go through. Everything had to go through the judges, for the exception of, I think, when you kill a man accidentally and you don't get yourself to the city of refuge. There was plenty of vigilantes right there. You had to hurry up. They said you drop what you're doing and you get to the city of refuge.
Your blood.
Yeah, the Avenger of Blood, right.
I don't even think they were vigilantes even then. I think it was the Avenger of Blood.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I've enjoyed listening to you and talking with you, okay. And I can always talk about Torah.
I think I need to open the phone lines more, because I think we get even more interesting conversations when I open the phone line, because I get to hear everybody's view on certain topics, and I think that we get to grow that way. I think that we get a better understanding. You got to understand, like, we come from different schools of understanding, and this is kind of like meshing us together and getting us to get all the differences and things out so that we can see. And I actually like it because it's not pointing the finger. It's like we're actually discussing a topic and building on it, you know, and seeing things from different perspectives. And I think that's good. Okay, Guevara, this is Moradina calling me now, so let me pick up this call.
Okay, let me hear what Dina got to say.
All right, Shalom. Shalom, Moradina. Oh, man, she didn't pick up. Let me call her back, because I know she must have been sleeping if she just getting on. She's slipping. You slipping, Moradina. You slipping. Mute that computer in the background. I know. That's why I say you slipping.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
I was waiting for your call to be the first. We already like almost 2 hours in.
I know. I told God to wake me up.
You lucky we still on. It's been an interesting topic.
I know you also got one thing with that same portion that you were reading.
Okay.
It said
Go ahead.
It said if a girl is raped and she cried out in the field, she was in the field and no one heard her, yes, she has to pay a dowry. But the father has the right to say, you don't get my daughter.
Right, because there's another portion. There's another portion in the Tanakh that speaks about that. Right.
But if he gets her, he can never give her up.
He could never give her up.
But
right.
No matter. Do you know what he's gonna be in for? You raped me. I cried out. No one heard me. He could never divorce her. But there is no law that says that
you think it's rape? I don't think it's rape.
They said if she's in the field and she cries out and nobody hears her.
Right? If for her listen, let's read it. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing, there is none in the damsel. All right, verse 25. But if a man find a damsel that is betrothed in the field, the man take hold of her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing, there is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rise up against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. Right? So if a man rapes a woman, he dies, no matter what. For he found her in the field. The betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her.
No, we're talking about the virgin.
All right, so now the virgin. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, that is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. It never says that she screamed or anything. It just said they be found.
Keep going.
All right. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
Right.
So that's not speaking of rape.
And she cries out not. No, that is rape. You go back and read it.
No.
And he cries out not.
It said, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, that is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and stay, and they be found. They be found means that...
No, we're talking about the one... No. Do you think in English, as he takes hold of her, he forces her? You understand? He forces her, and she cries out. She doesn't cry out.
Ima.
We're talking about the one. We're talking about the one. I'm sorry. We're talking about the one that cries out.
Oh, the one that cry out, but the one that cry out, that's different. The one that cry out, the man is put to death.
Not the virgin. There is one where he says that the father has the right to say, "No, you're not getting my daughter."
All right, hold on for a second. Hold on, Tavel is calling me. Hold on. Oh, he hung up. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Morad.
Okay, if you take if you force a girl, see, because it comes into where he can never divorce her. If she cries out and she's not heard. Okay,
no, but it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. I'm reading it right here. I'm reading it right here. It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, that is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. Right? And they be found, meaning it's like the
consensual one, the sticky
right. That's a consensual one, just like the married woman that be found with the man, and they be found. It says they both be put to death. Her because she violated, and him because he is like rising up against him and killing them. Right. But in this instance, verse 28 said, "For man find a damsel that is a virgin, that is not betrothed." Right? That means she don't have no attachment to anyone. She's just a daughter. Right? And lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. Meaning, like, maybe he G'd up, maybe he G'd her, like how we talk. He G'd her.
Yeah, sweet talk.
Yeah, right. He sweet talked her. She, she didn't cry out rape, and he got it.
Right. Then he has her forever.
Right. And then it says, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. That's the dowry. And she shall be his wife, because he have humbled her, and he may not put her away all his days. But there is a part in the Tanakh that speaks about the same instance that goes into more detail, where the father could say, "No, you a bum. You can't
take my daughter."
Right, you can't have my daughter.
Which means he has a dowry to give the man that takes her, because she didn't have a virginity.
Right, because he took her virginity. Right.
And now, really, all that says something, because you said something. You said that there's no law. You said there's no law where a man is put to death for rape.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say,
I didn't say that. I'm saying that any type of rape is rape, right? I'm saying like if you take something against someone's will, it's rape and it's a death penalty to you. If you take a woman's, whether she be a virgin, whether she not be a virgin, whatever, if you rape a woman, it's a death penalty.
Okay, and I was talking about, well, we are people of compassion, so that a rape victim would have the right to get an abortion, and I say no.
All right, so let's hear it.
I would say that, and now this is going to sound cool, because it's against the law to commit suicide. So how much more against a child that didn't have to be born? So what I'm saying is, I'm just saying Torah.
Right.
I get raped. I get pregnant. That baby has to be put up for adoption, because if it's against the law to commit suicide, how am I going to kill somebody that was the victim of a crime, of another crime? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You cannot, be up to the judges. Torah says, thou shalt not murder. You can't murder yourself. You can't murder a victim that was because of, an unborn child because of rape. That child would have to be put up for adoption.
All right, so I asked this question. I asked this question to my brother Chief Shama earlier, because he had the same points that you had. But I just bring this because I think most of us agree on there should be no abortions, right? I think everybody in this room agrees on there should be no abortions, but the points that were brought up were these. One was rape, right, which some people might differ on. But what about an ectopic pregnancy?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so good. Ectopic pregnancy, absolutely. That's not abortion. That's saving the mother's life.
But you're
Yeah,
still
but the topic is pregnancy.
You're still aborting the fetus.
Listen.
Okay.
The dead place, not the Lord. That's number one.
Okay.
And the topic pregnancy is a pregnancy in the tube.
Right.
If that tube explodes, the woman and the baby both dies.
Right.
And the baby's not even going to be a baby. See, we say baby at the time of conception.
Right.
Scientifically, you have 2 cells, then 4 cells, then 8 cells, and, it multiplies and doubles.
Right.
By the time we get to 16 cells, okay, that baby is going to make that tube burst. So they're going to have to give the woman a partial abortion. A partial,
you said the A word. You said it.
Excuse me. Listen, they got to do a partial hysterectomy. And that tube comes out and that baby comes out too. So
Right.
is that considered an abortion or a hysterectomy?
Right.
You see? And the topic pregnancy is not an abortion. It's a partial hysterectomy.
All right. So then, what about what was the other scenario that I brought up? So someone brought up. I don't know if you heard it.
I was asleep. I just woke up.
So you see. I don't want to bring up because there was a lot of good points brought up.
I know, and I'm so angry when I saw, man. Both my alarm, both the computers were going up, but I was asleep.
No, there was a point brought up where a sister said that there was a 10-year-old girl that her father raped her. Her father raped her, right?
Exactly.
And she conceived, and she was going to have the baby, and then the father tried to give her like an abortion at home. It was a crazy scenario. You gotta go back and listen to it.
He had to keep that baby, but I'd like to beat it up because he throw one of them stones to kill him.
All right. So then, what about
That's a double sin. That's rape and incest.
Okay, and then what about instances in the Tanakh where women got killed for committing adultery, even if they had conceived a baby from another man? Do you wait Do you wait?
Yeah.
Do you wait for the baby to be born and put him up for adoption? And what were the adoption agencies?
I will wait for the baby to be born and put him up for adoption.
Okay.
But now I have a scenario for you.
Listen. I told them already. I'm ambivalent to on this on a certain point of this topic. I'm still trying to make my decision, and I'm hoping that y'all will convince me on one side or the other. Right? So go ahead, make your point, and I'll see. I'll try to.
I received that. No, I think in the way that we might have answered this question, because this is literally a double sin. No. A man rapes a lady that's married, okay, and she gets pregnant. That baby should be put up for an adoption, but there's a second step to it.
We
discussed all this. Will she stay married with her husband? You see, because you see what I'm saying? I'm saying a lady gets raped, she's married. She gets pregnant. The baby's born, they put it up for adoption. What is her status with her husband?
That's still her husband.
I can still be her husband, but you can never lay with her again.
Who said that?
Because she was with another man, even though it wasn't a divorce. She's become defiled.
Moradina, I'm not going to agree with you with that at all. And I love you and I respect you, but I'm not agreeing with you with it. Because David took what's her name?
Her husband, we wound up killing her husband. She never went back and laid with her.
No,
I'm saying
David took what?
You're not getting the correct.
What was her name again?
I know you're talking about
the daughter of Saul. He told Abner, he said, "Don't come back to me unless you bring me my wife." That wasn't David's fault. He took his wife back because Saul did that.
All right, but he never laid with her.
No, he never laid with her. He never laid with her after she started complaining to him about. He didn't lay with her after she started complaining to him about the damsels, him dancing out of his clothes in front of the damsels. And she started talking about, have my Lord gotten glory from the young damsels? And then David got mad. It was like I was praising God.
I'm saying it's against Torah. Same way as if you divorce a woman and she gets another husband, you can't go back and lay with her again. Right. And I'm saying that if a woman was raped and she had a baby, even though she was get the baby announced, and she was raped, that she can no longer have relations with her husband. That it should be considered an abomination, even though she's like a victim twice, because she laid with another man, even though it was involuntarily. You guys kind of understand what I'm saying? You get that now? You get what I'm saying, man?
That's a topic for another day, but I disagree, and we gonna discuss that on a later date. But I disagree with that. I don't think that the woman suffers for that because it's not her fault.
I don't either, but it's okay. Like you said, a topic for another topic. But there's no way that you can say that she's undefiled, even though she was undefiled. She's a victim of being defiled. Because she could stay with her husband and just can't have relations again.
Okay.
And could you imagine him have to give up the baby? Oh, man, that was just so unfair. But that's Torah.
All right. All right, Moira, you need to go back and look back at the video so you could
And next time when I'm late, call me. I ain't too early. Too early.
Okay.
Listen there. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So I think we covered this topic. We've been on it for like almost 2 hours at nauseam. I think we got a lot out of it. Moray Tavel. You know when people call back 2 or 3 times that the topic is good. Let's go, Moray. Let's hear you. What you got to say? Somebody, I misspoke. Did I misspeak?
We still dealing with Imanina's
Nah. It's whatever. Just bring your point.
I just wanted I have to disagree with that. I don't think that lady, the husband. I'm speaking on her point about the lady being able to go back to her husband after being raped.
Right.
That situation, that law is given to a man that divorced his wife.
Right.
That means he put her away.
Right.
That's what the law is given to that situation. The law is not given to a man that his wife been snatched from him. That's a different situation.
Right.
Creator gives scenarios and he gives the exact law for the exact scenario. That's all I had to say on that.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, sir.
All right. Somebody's calling back. There's a Brooklyn number. Shalom.
Shalom, Chief. It's Chief Shama again.
Chief Shama. There's the you know the topic is good when the same people is calling back 2 or 3 times. Go ahead, Chief.
Yo, listen, I gotta agree with
Moradina, okay.
Yes, in Deuteronomy chapter 24 it states, if a man divorce, give his woman or his wife a divorce and send her out of his house, or if there died the latter husband who took her to himself as his wife, may not her former husband who sent her away take her again to be his wife after she has been defiled, for that is an abomination. So therefore, the man that divorced this woman, if she get married to a next man, the former husband can't take her back. And even the Most High made a good point in Jeremiah chapter 3. He said, the Most High said, the land is greatly polluted. He said, but he accepts Israel back. He turned our backs on them and turned to idols.
Right.
He still accepts us back. The Most High made a great point. It was a great point there in Jeremiah 3, so that's what I have to say.
Okay, Torah. Shalom.
Okay, shalom.
All right. I think somebody else was trying to call in. Oh man, the topic I love it because we get to discuss Torah. You know, at the end of the day, it's Torah. I don't know, somebody else was trying to call in, so I'll just wait to see who was that, and then I could take it from there. We could wrap it up. But it's definitely a beautiful, great topic. I really appreciate everybody calling in with your points. That it became a decent discussion. We didn't, we did it like adults. And that's the main point right there, that we did it well, that we got to agree to disagree with certain things. I'm still, I still got the mixed feelings. Nobody convinced me to, I'm just playing. No, it was a good discussion. I think we grew on this. I think that we got some understanding from this. And I think that we looked at it from a point of view of reasoning, using the scriptures, and hearing everybody's point. And everybody had beautiful, strong points. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you once again for joining us. May the Most High God bless each and every one of you. Don't forget to join us again. All right, here we go. This is the caller that was trying to call. Shalom, shalom.
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 One thing I wanted to say, there's a point that you made, and I think you might have a point. Okay, I got to turn this thing. You know what? I'm not very adept at this.
It's okay, Gavert. We got you. We got you.
Okay, what I want to say is this. That verse, the one that talks about the damsel, the one that's not betrothed.
Right.
It says it's rape. You know how you know it's rape?
How?
It says he lays hold on her. Go back and read it.
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin that is not betrothed, he lay hold her and he lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found.
It doesn't use that term lay hold on her in any other situations.
Yeah, but in the instance of rape, right? When we talk about Tamar and Amnon, it uses the word when it speaks about rape, it uses the word. I'm trying to find the word. I don't want to misquote it. It uses the word like chazak, like strength, like overpowering, right?
Yes, but he did overpower her.
It doesn't. I don't think it uses that word here. Lo, but I'm not that great in Hebrew. Ki yimza ish na'ara betula asher lo orasa utfasa we shachav ima we ninza'u. I don't got my glasses on, but I know you laughing at my attempt at Hebrew, but I try my best.
I said it took it too far for me to get it. And I don't think the linear Chumash, that's one of those books, they leave out some stuff. When when they don't allow the kids to read that stuff.
Right. Well, I'm reading from this
no English.
From the.
But anyway,
right.
I didn't want to hold forth. I just wanted to make mention that you kind of had it. I'm beginning to agree with you that if a man rapes a daughter, that's right. That if he takes a daughter and he lays with the virgin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, when he lays with the virgin and the father says no, yay or nay,
right?
I don't think it's consensual.
Okay.
That was the point that I was making.
Okay,
because it uses the term in English, and I'm going to go back and read it later on in the Hebrew. It said in the other cases, it doesn't say and lay hold on her.
Okay.
That means like you grab her. That adds. Excuse me, I'm babbling. Adds force to it.
Okay.
Anyway, must I be with you?
Okay, Torah, Gavert.
All of that, because I'm getting up the phone. It's time for me to be past my bedtime.
This is your cell phone number or your house number?
This is my house number.
All right, I'm a store that's your house number. Okay.
I very rarely use my cell phone number. When I send you a text,
right,
you get my cell number.
Okay then.
I call you on my house number. I don't use my phone. I don't use my cell phone unless I have to.
Okay.
Okay. But it doesn't matter. If you call me on either one, you'll get me.
Okay, Ima, Torah.
let you know, because I saw that topic, and I know that people do that. They say, the Torah says this, and you got to do exactly what the Torah says. And nowhere in the Torah does it say for you to wash your cardio. Okay? Don't say brush your teeth.
Shalom.
Don't say comb your hair. Okay?
Shalom. Shalom, Moradina.
Okay, your Hebrew was perfectly read. You read it nice and slow. Betula means virgin.
Right.
Na'ara is girl and Betula is virgin. And he's strong-armed her. He's strong-armed her. That's where you're getting that word Kazakh from. He strong-armed her. He strong-armed the girl who was a virgin. That's exactly what it means in Hebrew. That's exactly what you said. So nice and slow. So anyone.
But it doesn't say Kazakh. Did I say Kazakh there? I didn't read Kazakh.
No, you're talking about with David's daughter.
Oh, right. It
that
says
was a
Kazakh.
strong hold on her.
Right.
But the word Na'ara is
He
girl
forced
and
her.
Betula is virgin.
He forced her, right?
But that word Betula is virgin. You just heard the word
Right.
Betula.
I mean, I know my little bit of Hebrew. I know a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not the
Even
best.
without your glasses, you read it right.
Yeah. Oh man, I lost a brand new pair of glasses. And I broke my backup. I fell asleep with my backup pair, so that's why I'm over here squinting. So I gotta get
I
some
can't
new
even
glasses.
squint. I broke both pair of mine. But Betula is virgin, and the Ada is girl. So
Right.
You had it right.
Thank you.
Listen there. Okay.
Shalom. There you go. So that concludes our talk for tonight. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. You guys really did a great job. Give yourself a hand. Had a lot of people listening tonight, and we got up to 100. We up to 100 people listening at one time. So, that was the peak concurrent count. I think 96 right now. How many people watching? I know a lot of people are watching this topic, and don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to let someone know about this. I'm gonna put the title on the video later so that you could refer people to this video if you've had this conversation before with people and see how civil we were in discussing this topic and not going at each other, and that's what we're looking for at the end of the day. So thank you once again, everyone, for chiming in. Gaver Ora, Ima Havared, my brother Chief Shama, Moradina. More Tavel, brother Trey, the sister from Schenectady, I forget your name, and who else called in? Well, everybody else who called in that I'm not remembering right now. I really thank you. I appreciate your input. I appreciate that we're able to come together as Israel and be able to get understanding, enough for the bickering and the fighting, but to get understanding and to get wisdom in all the things that we do. I thank y'all once again. Don't forget that 2019 will be the centennial of Israelites being on this side of the hemisphere, with the commandment keepers being open. Rabbi Matthew, and also Rabbi Ford in Harlem, and in August of next year, 2019, there will be a centennial celebration. We hope that all Israelites will be there. We all come from the same tree, no matter where we turned out. You call it black Jews or whatever, but we all started from somewhere. And Rabbi Matthew and Rabbi Ford were the beginning of Israel, of Israelites. A lot of us Israelites on this side of the hemisphere. So keep on the lookout for that. And I'm going to have a commercial up soon about that whole centennial thing, and let us all support, let us all make it a great event, because we are the children of Israel, and these are our roots, our forefathers who got us established. It's going to be 100 years of us establishing a school here, especially here in New York City, but it's open for everyone. So make your preparations for the weekend of August 12th to the 19th. It's going to be a great event in Harlem. They're taking it back to Harlem, where it all began. It's going to be a week-long celebration So we hope that everybody could be there and join us and make it a celebration. So once again, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please send me a title that I could put for this video. Sometimes that's the most difficult thing for me to do. Somebody please send me a title so that I could put for this video. Somebody please send me a title. What can I use the title as? Or what title can I use for the video? I'm not going to close out until somebody puts a title up there, because I feel lazy to come out. I'm going to choose the best title, and I'm going to put it up there. So somebody please give me a title, and or you could text me the title for the video, and I'm going to put it up there. Somebody please give me a title. I just want to be able to use a title. Let me see. Y'all must be really on a delay. "100 Years of Israel in NYC." That's right. Discussion on abortion, right or wrong. Okay, that's a good one. By Tamika Yevra. Igdalia, abortion, right or wrong. That's straight to the point. I like that, Igdalia. The controversy about abortion. That's good too. Let's see. Okay. I'll choose from those three. Or maybe put my own twist on something that was already written up there. So, once again, abortion is illegal in Israel. Okay. I like that too. So, once again, Torah Rabah, for everyone tuning in. Don't forget to tune in to us 11 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, as we will be going over. We're supposed to have Rabbi Shalom as a guest, but I'm not sure if he's going to come through because he had a lot of he had some things he had to take care of, so he wasn't sure. Hopefully we'll get to see him and get to hear him teach over at our place. Thank you to the Most High God once again for all of you tuning in. May the Most High God bless you all. Shalom, shalom. Everyone have a great night's sleep. Hallelujah.